talk about a question that I get often, and that is, what can I do to my home to increase the value? What's worth it? What's really not worth it? And how much am I going to get in return for my initial investment? Let's dig right in. First, I have lots of notes. Kitchen remodeling. So your kitchen, for potential buyers, when they go into the home, that is like a huge selling point. You know, for me especially, when I go into a home, I don't want to see a lot of work that needs to be done to suit my needs and what I like. So I don't want to come in and see like the laminate countertops, because I'm already racking up a bill in my head. Like, okay, I'm going to pay X amount for this house, but the kitchen is going to need X, Y, Z. Look at them. Look at those cabinets. They're hideous. I need to take those down. Look at these outdated appliances and fixtures. Ugh. So it probably, I'm going to keep shopping. I'm just going to next. And if I go to the next house, even if it's a couple $1,000s more, if it's got a more updated modern kitchen, you better believe I'm going to mark that first one off my list. I already forgot about it. It's gone. Bye, Felicia. So let's talk about the different levels. So you can do some minor changes. So with minor changes, roughly 10 to 20K. These are all rough estimates. So definitely depends on the prices in the market and what you're buying and what you're doing. So could roughly be anywhere between 10 and 20K, and that's just doing minor things like painting. Maybe you're changing some fixtures. Maybe you're just resurfacing the cabinets. You're not replacing them. You're just resurfacing. And then you got mid-range. That can be anywhere between $20,000 and $50,000. That's when you're just going to tear them cabinets down, get some new ones, put in some really nice fixtures, the new sink nozzle, the sprayer, and maybe go ahead and do some new countertops. Maybe upgrade those from laminate to maybe granite. And then some flooring. So maybe you want to do like the luxury, like the waterproof vinyl. That's some nice stuff. That's stuff that, your animals aren't tearing it up with their nails, and you don't got to worry about the kids spilling water on it, because kids are notorious for, ice cube fell out of the fridge. I'ma just kick it under the refrigerator. Yeah, so let's not worry about that. Some high-end things. Now you're running up into like the $50,000 to $100,000 range. That's like high-end appliances, high-end fixtures, and then you got your high-end quartz and all the fancy stuff if you want. So your return on investment on kitchen from your remodeling, whatever you initially put in, you can roughly get between like 70 and 80%. So it's a pretty good return on investment. So I highly recommend, if you're going to put any money into your house, throw it in the kitchen. The second place I would throw your money, your bathroom. Same thing. You don't want to walk into an outdated bathroom. You just don't. That's not very functional. So think about upgrading your bathroom. You have the 3 different ranges too. You got minor, anywhere between like 5 and 10K, and that's just like updating your fixtures, like your shower heads and your sink nozzles, maybe retiling, redoing the grout, painting, maybe resurface the cabinets in there. So just some little touch-up stuff. Mid-range, about 10 to 25K. So then you're looking at, of course, new fixtures. Maybe you're going to throw a double vanity in there. Most people do like a double vanity, especially if it's more than one person moving into the home. So double vanities are very nice and appealing. Maybe you want like a walk-in shower. You want to replace the tub or the shower that's in there. So prices definitely vary depending on what you're getting, what you're replacing. And then the flooring, maybe you want to do the luxury vinyl in there, or whatever, just to redo the flooring. So, and then you got high end. So then you're moving into like the custom features and the luxury things, maybe even some spa-like features. Like, I'll tell you one thing that would probably catch my eye, which I would really like in my bathroom, is a dry sauna. but not everybody wants a dry sauna. So I'm not telling you to go put a dry sauna in your bathroom. That would definitely be a very personalized feature, I feel, luxury. But anywho, your return on investment on your bathroom would be roughly 60 to 70%. So it's pretty high too. And that's from your initial investment, whatever you put into it. All right, let's keep on moving. Energy efficient upgrades. So this could be like windows, doors, appliances. So not only does it reduce the utility bills for yourself while you're still living in your home, but when you sell it, people see that. That's a high selling point. Like, yo, I got these energy efficient windows, so you're not going to have to like run your AC, your heat, whatever as much. It's going to help your power bill. Some people put 2 water heaters, right? One for the upstairs, one for the downstairs. That can help too. So that helps increase your value too. It's a good selling point. I guess, I don't know what I think about solar. Some people just don't like solar. We're not going to go into solar. But anyways, we're just going to talk about the windows, doors, and appliances. We're going to leave it there on this video. So, like your windows, they can be anywhere depending on the size of your window and what you're going to purchase, what brand, and the quality. Those can run anywhere between $200 to $1,000 a window. Again, it's a tax write-off, guys. Keep that in mind. Keep your receipts. So that's roughly per window. And then you got some energy efficient doors. Those are $500 to $1,500 per door. Most people don't have a ton of doors in their home, so that's not too bad. And appliances, $500 to $5,000. Again, it depends on what brand and all that good stuff, models that you're buying. So your return on investment on those can be anywhere between 50 and 80%. So pretty good return on investment on that as well. Now, outdoor improvements. So that's like landscapings. Maybe you added some decks, some deck additions. You got your living spaces like your patios and your pergolas, and like having like well maintained like grass and garden beds and all of that stuff. One of the biggest things that does is it boosts your curb appeal. It shows, it can, if you have this nice little patio, like we have a patio out back, got a great deal on Home Depot, go to the scratch and dent section. But we have this great patio out back and we have a TV in there. So with a little fire pit, fire pits are nice too. So we can go out there and, watch football, grill. There's a grill out there. It just helps the potential buyer, like when they see that, it shows the enjoyment of the property, like the potential, what they can do. Because, let's face it, a lot of people like to go outdoors. So it's nice to have that option. So I do recommend definitely putting a little bit of money into your outdoors, just to boost the curb appeal. It helps so much. Like, keep your grass mowed, keep it the bushes hedged and all that good stuff. Spend some money on your landscaping, make it look nice. That could be anywhere between $1,000 to $5,000, just depending on how much work needs to be done on it if it's not really maintained. I've seen people with a for sale sign in their yard, and from a brokerage, like a legit brokerage sign, like not a mom pop brokerage, a big one. They got the real estate sign out there and weeds everywhere. Not kidding, not 1 or 2 little sprouts. The whole damn yard is a fucking weed. Like, do you know what that does? So I'm not even looking at the home anymore. I'm looking at your grass going, hell no. If they can't maintain their grass, like, are they maintaining the stuff inside the home? Are they keeping up with the HVAC maintenance, all the high ticket stuff, or are they half-assing that too? It's just, it doesn't look good. So you got to keep up with your yard. It does make a huge difference. You don't want people looking at your yard, and that's the only thing they remember, in a bad way. Now, if it's a good way, definitely you want people to remember that. Maybe you threw some new decks on there, which those can be anywhere between 2,000 and 15K, just depending, but those make nice little areas for, seating areas and for your grills and stuff. So that's like a nice little living space, outdoor living space addition. You get into some higher end stuff too, anywhere between 5 and 50K, depending on how big you want to go. And I'm talking like outdoor kitchens, which I had, it was kind of a do-it-yourself. I didn't do it. The previous homeowner did it. It was kind of a do-it-yourself kitchen, but there was a sink and stuff out there and some sketchy electrical work, but I envisioned it could have been really nice. And your fire pits and all that stuff. Okay, enough about outdoors. We're going to go back inside for just a minute. Oh, and landscaping, let me go back to outdoors. That's about 50 to 80% of return on investment. Okay, back inside, basements. We always talk about basements, finished, unfinished. If you got it with the heat and air, if it's got that, you can add it to the square footage of your home, which does increase the value. It's now considered a living space. So by converting an unusable or unlivable space into a livable space, that greatly improves the value. And it also improves the appeal, because now you don't have a buyer coming in going, ugh, I really want a basement, but look at all the work I got to put into it. You're not going to get 100% back in your investment. I'm going to tell you that right now on anything that you do. So always keep that in mind. But if you can change, you can do your basics, like, let's see, basic, 5 to 20K. So that's like framing, insulation, and like your drywall. Depends on how big your basement is how big your bill is going to be and what materials you get and all that stuff. That's just your basic, and maybe throw some flooring down. Which, by the way, I've seen some people do they just keep it concrete, and they do like a what is it called? I don't know, but they basically like paint it and put this clear coat on it. Oh my gosh. It's actually pretty reasonable price. Like, it's pretty cheap and it looks really cool. I'll have to do another video on that. Let's see. So, anyway, so if you can convert it into have like do like a mid-range where now you have like maybe a gym down there or an office or maybe some bedrooms. And that's when you're adding like your electrical and your plumbing. So that's kind of like the mid-range range of finishing a basement. That's anywhere between 20 and 50,000. And then you have your high end. That's 50 to 100,000. That's when you go into those custom features. Like I've been into some basements that have a full-on bar. For me, that would be a selling point, because they have a bar and they have all this football stuff. It's very custom. But all this football stuff on the wall, and they got TVs, and it's just so nice. But they have those custom things, or they have custom theaters, and all these luxury features and all this cool stuff. So you can imagine how much money you could put into some basements. And it would be nice if everybody had that much money. I don't. Anyway, so your return on investments on your basement, 50 to 70% roughly. All right, so let's switch gears a little, and let's talk about what really doesn't add value to your home. So highly personalized upgrades. I'm talking like custom wine cellars. And this is crazy. Actually, the same house that had the kitchen outside that was do-it-yourself actually had a wine closet downstairs. It was all cedar. It wasn't a selling point for me. I do drink wine occasionally, but not enough to need a wine cellar. I only opened the door a couple of times, and it smelled really good. I will say that. But if they would have thrown that into the ticket price, I would have been like, no, because I'm not going to use it. Or maybe like some really custom theaters or something. Just crazy stuff that maybe not your everyday people would use. Your every average homeowner. And then let's see. So also think about number 2, over improving for your neighborhood. So you know, you go in most neighborhoods, the homes were all built around the same times. They all look around the same. And everything on the inside is roughly the same because it was built same time period. You don't want to go in there and throw all these high-end luxury things into a home and expect to get all your money back or even half of it, because it's just not going to happen. If what you're putting into your home significantly exceeds the value of like your neighborhood properties, like what's going on around you, no, it's considered over improvement. So it might be great for your enjoyment while you're living there. And if that's what you want to do, by all means, you want to be happy in your home, do it. Just letting you know, don't expect to get all that back, because it's at the end of the day, you can't exceed the value of your home. Still got to appraise, and they're still going to look at all the properties around you. Swimming pools. So you're not going to get whatever you put into that pool back. Nope, not going to happen. So in-ground pool, I guess, I don't know. I don't know about these numbers. 20 to 100K. I'm sure it depends on the size, the quality, and the labor, and all that stuff. Anyways, that number varies. That's just a rough estimate. So you put that much and you get enjoyment out of it, and it is great curb appeal. It is. For some. You know, some people are like, oh man, I'm going to enjoy that house. I'm going to be in that pool. That's great. But some people also go ahead and consider the factors of, oh my God, I got to keep up the pool. How much is the maintenance going to cost? Got to keep it clean. The electricity, the water bill. What about the safety? Maybe they have some young kids. So it could honestly like detract some buyers. And honestly, the return on a pool can be pretty low. Pretty low. Sounds surprising, right? But you don't really get a good return on investment on a pool. The biggest thing is it could just be an enjoyment factor. It could boost the curb appeal for people that really do like pools. Your above ground pools are anywhere between $1,500 and $15K. So you're not really going to get a direct financial return on a pool. You may get some, don't get me wrong, but don't think you're about to throw $100K on top of your ticket price for your home and get that back. No. There is one for sale down the street. It has a pool, and they have it priced about $150,000 more than any home in this neighborhood. Guess what? It's still sitting on the market. I wonder why. Anyways, let's talk about costly high-end upgrades. Those are those upgrades that are just fancy over the top, like super luxury kitchens and bathrooms, and maybe you got some waterfalls outside, whatever, that are amazing and are just great things to have if you like those things. But at the end of the day, you know, your average buyer may not be into that. Like, they don't want your home because you put $100K in your bathroom, like, and have all these fancy things. So you're probably not going to get that back either. But I hope you enjoyed it while it was in your home. And I hope the next person enjoys it just as much as you did. Do-it-yourself projects. Those can be costly, especially if you don't know what you're doing. And those can just range. I'm not even going to give you a price because it just depends on what you're doing. But those can be very costly. Because if you do it wrong, and it's all kinds of jacked up, and if it's something that an inspector is going to come and inspect, and they find all that, then you're just going to have to pay to fix it. Like, those, just don't, stay away from that. If you don't know what you're doing, just stay away from it. I'm guilty. I've done do-it-yourself stuff. Not kidding. I have. But nothing big. Nothing that would affect my home. It's nothing crazy. But I have seen some stuff online, and I'm sure you have too. Fencing. Okay, let's talk about fencing. This is back to adding value. I know I just jumped all over the place, But it's a side note that I have written down that I forgot to put into adding value. It can add some value. There's so many different types of fence. You got chain link, you got wood, you got vinyl, you got wrought iron, you got aluminum, and those all vary anywhere between, let's see, $10 to $25 per square foot for chain link. That's normally your cheapest. Then you got wood and vinyl, anywhere between $20 and $50 a square foot. Your wrought iron is 30 to 100 square foot, and aluminum 20 to 40. You can normally get 50 to 70% back in your return on investment. I know I had one seller that, kept talking about the fence and how much they paid, but at the end of the day, you're not going to get 100% back. But it is a pretty good return. 50 to 70%, that ain't bad. Plus, back to boosting that curb appeal, that also boosts your curb appeal. Some people want a fence. Maybe they have kids. Maybe they have a dog. Maybe that is one of their must when looking for a home. So I will say, if you want a fence, need a fence, it is a good return on investment. Also, one more thing for outside. You can also, if you want to put a irrigation system, that's a pretty good return on investment too. You can probably get a good 50 to 70% back on that. Install the sprinklers throughout your yard. That's very nice, especially if you have a bigger yard. It's just convenient, and you can set it on timers. It'll save you time and money. It's efficient. A good way to water and maintain your grass. So I think that was it. Yep, I got through the whole stack. So I hope this video was helpful. I hope it kind of like shows you what to do and what not to do, because I know that I get that question a lot. So hopefully this video was helpful. I hope you don't spend an arm and a leg and all this money trying to spruce up your property to get it ready for sale. There are a lot of budget friendly options, like I went over, the minor, the mid, the high end. There are different options. So don't bend over backwards and drive yourself crazy trying to get your home ready and pour all this money into there without knowing what's really going to help, what's not really going to help, and how much are you going to get back. So I really hope this video was helpful. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to drop them down below. I'm Karen Kim. I work for Exp Realty, and I'm a realtor serving the Northeast Georgia and surrounding area. Don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe for more real estate tips and tricks.